Amazing people doing great things for our community. Sometimes we might forget that while we're celebrating the holidays, millions of Americans are dealing with food scarcity that looms over them, especially around this time of year. Here to tell us why Wells Fargo has joined us in taking a stand against hunger is Senior Vice President of the Wells Fargo Foundation. We have Karen Woodruff. Good morning, Karen.
Good morning, Desiree.
Yeah, we're happy to have you on this morning. We know that food banks and food pantries are pivotal in helping those struggling to put food on the table. How does Wells Fargo standing in the gap for those organizations to help them carry out their mission?
Well, Wells Fargo Foundation supports many organizations that lift up communities. Our major focus is housing, small business, financial health, and climate. But we also understand that there's a real challenge with sustainability, and if you can't lift up communities and people are hungry, they can't get jobs, they can't go to school, they can't function. So we've supported food banks across the country. We particularly look at Feeding America food banks because they're the ones that provide and distribute all the food to the pantries, to every source that you see. So we've been instrumental across the enterprise of participating in food bank campaigns, especially in holiday times. But a lot of us are sitting on boards. We're participating in our own communities, we're doing runs, we're giving our own funding. But it's important for corporations and organizations to look at those highest needs in our community and be able to support where we can.
And why was it important to Wells Fargo specifically to get involved and take a stand against hunger and be a sponsor?
Well, first of all, ABC does such a great job getting the word out. We've partnered with them. This is our third year. Excited to continue to uplift the efforts that you are making, and really media, getting the word out, letting people know how they can help. It's one of the key things that we can do in addition to supporting funding and packing and running and doing whatever we can. But when we tell other people and it's collaborative and our communities can get involved, that messaging is super critical.
Yeah, the more collaboration we can have, the better. And I mean, as the Senior VP of the Wells Fargo Foundation, I can only imagine how busy you are in your day-to-day. Why was it important to you specifically to get involved with this and giving back?
Well, I'm actually the board chair of Sacramento Food Bank and Family Services, and it's really part of my core to provide basic needs to my community. So that's been something that I've done, why I got into this role. And I think it makes me more effective in my leadership of the foundation and steward of the foundation dollars. But you see this going directly into the mouths of people who need it. And the people who need it are not looking at, they're not typical. You don't look at your neighbors. 1 in 4 of them are standing in a line waiting for food because they can't make ends meet. And especially now with the inflation and the challenges that we're finding in our communities, it's really important for us to just provide that lift.
Yeah, and I mean, I know so many people were very busy, but why is it important that we take a moment to pause and give back and donate or participate in food shelters, food banks?
Well, I think gratefulness, it's the holiday term, right? But being grateful for all that you have and the feeling that you get when you give back and you're supporting your neighbors, these are your neighbors. So if you're living in a community and you're thinking, gosh, there's nothing I can do, I can't give my money, you can give your time, you can volunteer, you can support your neighbor, whatever it is, you can give $5. $5 goes a long way. So it's just critical for all of us to come together and try and help one another, especially now, especially holiday.
Yeah, and I mean, you're very involved. How else does Wells Fargo give back to the community?
Well, we typically give around $2.5 million in this region, 300 to 350 million across our enterprise. We focus in 4 categories, typically the housing affordability, small business, financial health, and climate. But then we also layer that with racial equity and diversity and inclusiveness, and we try and look at what organizations are really moving the dial on change, and we invest in those. So it's really fun. I mean, I have a great job. Greatest job on the planet, besides yours.
Thank you. Well, we can definitely hear the passion in all that you do. Karen, thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, of course. And it sounds like commitment of these food pantries can really bank on. You too can make a direct impact in your community and help give meals to those who would otherwise go without. Join ABC 10 in the 2022 Stand Against Hunger. Donate today to the food bank of your choice by visiting abc10.com/standagainsthunger.